Hello. Alright, so I am using high strength liquid mold making rubber, ideal for one piece molds with severe undercuts. This is Omulite. Picked this up at Hobby Lobby. Now, the mold piece is all set in there. It's all ready to go. So that's set. We got part A, part B. Okay. It seems pretty easy. We're doing one piece mold boxes built, pieces supported. Now it's a 10-to-1 ratio mix. Measure out 10 parts to 1 part base if you're using a scale. My scale's on the fritz. Can't do that. By volume, if using 1 ounce cups I have here, you get a scoop of catalyst for every 2 base. So what we're gonna do, we're probably gonna use almost all of this, but might as well just it's sticky. This is gonna be fun. Carefully dispose of that where the cats won't eat. So we're gonna it's gonna be 1-ish. So I need 1 scoop at this point. So we've poured the mold, and I'm gonna tap it a little bit to knock the bubbles free. Now, the way I poured this was, unfortunately I videotaped the whole thing, but a phone call came in which knocked my video off of my iPad or my iPhone, so yeah, I'm not really professional. So I used my phone to videotape, and a phone call came through, and yada yada yada. So when I poured this, I had it tilted on its side. Like so. And I poured down the side so that the molding material, the silicone, actually filled up around the piece in the center. You don't want to pour directly onto the piece because then you create air bubbles. So it was a nice slow pour down the side of the container, so it filled up around. Now it's over the top. You should, when you're casting a piece, have at least a 1/4 inch past the end of your mold. So if your mold's a square, you should have a 1-inch square. You should have a 1/4 inch past the bottom, so that you have a good base for your mold to have without deforming. I usually go a little bit over that. I go about a 1/2 inch. So there, our mold is done. These little bubbles on top, they're just from the final bit of getting rid of the excess, so that's not a problem. There should be no bubbles down the inside at all, because it was a good slow pour. So this has an 8 to 18 hour cure. I'm gonna let it go at least overnight. I'm not even gonna worry about 18 hours. The longer the better. It's not gonna hurt it none. So we're gonna put this up on a nice stable spot where the cats won't get to it, I hope. This is done. Put the rest of the way because we actually have enough in there to make another project. not a big project, but a small project. And we're gonna continue on with the build of the rest of the kit. I'll get back to you in a few minutes. We painted up the platform, the walkway, and the hallway cover. So while those are drying, I've gone ahead and jumped ahead and we've done up the gun turrets. So these are real easy to assemble, nothing much at all to them. The only thing is these barrels do not fit real tight into their housing, so you need to make sure that they're adjusted so that they're, parallel. They try to go a little offset, but using the thin cement, they set up really quick enough to get them right on line. So the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of my micro bits, and I'm probably going to bore out just the tip of the barrels so that they're hollowed out. Other than that, these are all set to go. We've got the interior prepped, sanded down, and got most of the little release marks off. I got the interior items put on, so these are good to go. There's a little door molded in that I cleaned the markings on just a little bit, so we'll make sure that's outlined. We're going to paint the inside kind of a pale white, light ivory type color, like the inside of a an office. So that will be set to go, and we're going to wait on once the boarding platform and the hallway are dried up. We'll attach those and get the lighting done on the hull. Okay, back in a little while. Hey, okay, update time. So the command deck is finished. We're just going to add the chairs in, and that's all that's left there with the engine. Completely wired down to the 2 single wires. So that's all set to go. We got the landing lights mounted in and the walkway lights mounted in. So they're set to go. The walkway's added in, and I've got a little door painted on the inside. We got the lights inside there. Each one of the landing lights is mounted. We're all set there. So, pretty much all wired up at this point. And we are ready to move on to the next few steps. So, what's coming up next will be the casting of the engine in clear resin, finishing it off with lights, and that will complete the command deck. So once the command deck's completed, we will go on to finishing all of the other steps. We should be good to go. So we're getting close. My favorite part, I think, going to be about this is going to be the camouflage paint and the weathering on the outside. That's going to turn out really nice. Then, of course, we got to work on the diorama base and all that. So we're going to keep up with that. Until next time, thanks for watching.